I decided to do my ad analysis on a hair care line called Cantu for natural hair. And the hair care line consists of shampoo, conditioner, coconut curling cream for curling your hair and not causing any damage, a leave-in conditioner, an edge gel, which is to keep your edges straight if you're doing an updo or some sort of style, and a shine hold mist, which gives shine to the hair at the same time holding that specific style, desired style you want to have. I found this ad in Essence magazine, which is a magazine specifically for African American women. And this magazine is specifically for African American women. And I actually went to their website, essence.com, and got this quote, which I thought was kind of interesting, and kind of speaks to why Essence magazine was even necessary when it was created in 1970. Essence magazine is a cultural institution in the African American community. We're in sociology class, and seeing that is definitely told me, yes, an institution for the African American community, and out of this institution, good, helpful ideologies flow out of it, and help fight the negative ideologies or hegemonic ideologies that are, or even understandings that other parts of our society might have about the African American woman, or even just the African American community in general. And even just side note, before that, in 1945, Jet magazine, which was created in 1945, which did a lot of the same things, promoting beauty tips, health, politics, you name it. It spoke to the African American person in their context about the bigger majority context world that we live in. Along with that, magazine was also a magazine called Ebony, and it was created, and I'm sorry, I need to look at it. Jet magazine was created in 1951, and Ebony magazine was created in 1945. I'm sorry, I mixed those up. And Ebony magazine was created specifically to break down those negative stereotypes and ideas about the Black community, and it helped bring all the achievements of the African American community into one magazine, one place. And it's there in society to be, you can buy Ebony at Walmart or anywhere to show, like, yes, this is our Black community, and we're not just gangbangers and baggy pants wearing people, but we actually do contribute to society and help in all manner of ways. And Essence was just that. It is the African American version of Cosmopolitan. And it spoke to as well beauty for the Black woman, health, wealth, politics, social issues, anything going on, celebrities. I mean, that is a whole nother topic in itself, Black Hollywood. But it brought, Essence Magazine brings all that together, and including hair care, which is very important to any woman. And the Black woman, if you can imagine, and we talked about this in class and looked at different ads from the different time periods. The ads did not have any African American women in them at all. So a lot of these ads are coming out in magazines, and there's nothing for the Black woman to assimilate to. So it made it very much necessary to have magazines such as Jet, Ebony, and Essence magazine, which is where I got this from. This is a quote from Essence website, essence.com, the official magazine website, and it kind of gives, I thought it was fitting, I wanted to share the absolute reason why Essence magazine is necessary and why I chose ads like this. Essence magazine is a cultural institution in the African American community, and it is an institution in which it is a lot of good, positive, self-affirming norms, traditions, customs, ideologies can be shared and acknowledged and celebrated. The magazine was originally created in 1970. Again, coming off of the Civil Rights Movement, 1968 ending, definitely a good time to definitely needed for the African American women to see more of themselves in a positive light, and the African American community in general. And somewhat that and this is my own personal opinion, people of, or the creator, and her name slips my mind, I'm sorry, feeling affirmed and strengthened enough, feeling that strength off of the civil rights movement to say, hey, we have Jet out here, we have Ebony, why can't I be an editor? Why can't I be a journalist? Why can't I look for the facts and bring good, solid information to the Black community? And definitely fitting. Moving on. The social group, as I talked about earlier, that this ad actually is targeting is African American women, working class, upper class, middle class, African American women, though specifically of different social classes. You will not see a woman of a high upper class probably purchase this product. But I won't say that you wouldn't either, because when it comes to natural hair care and being Black, it's something that is not difficult to find. But you definitely, there's certain products out there that everyone knows that are good and are willing to try, and it might work on their type of hair. So a rich woman could use this, so I feel like this ad really speaks to just any woman in general. No specific class in general, but I know any class could use it, of women, and why we need it. We need good hair care products for our hair to keep it healthy and growing and looking nice, and to affirm our beauty. So that is why I feel like they targeted this was made. There has been for years, hundreds of years, the need for the Black woman to be seen or assimilated to being ugly, unattractive, just the different complexions of our skin, only a lighter skin being accepted, and a darker person such as myself would not be considered beautiful or whatnot. But more importantly, our hair, because it is of different textures or whatnot, this ad definitely wants to speak to all women that might struggle with feeling beautiful or able to find products that they feel work good on their hair. Was there any, and this is just to answer question number 2, messages revealed in an ad at a cultural level? My hair, there is it says my curl, my Cantu. And it is a slogan, and it's right here. It's actually the text right here. My curl, my Cantu. And I'll just remind you that the name of the product is Cantu, and it's a message of diversity, because Black women, we're not, and I'm not saying that white women aren't, but Black women, there are different uniqueness to each one of us. And specifically in our hair, along with physical size and shape or whatnot. And we're all that way, but specifically to our hair, there are different textures of hair that I haven't done much research on, but just from my own experience being Black, and things that I've heard from the majority context of society, is that Black African American hair is one texture, nappy. We do use that slang term as when our hair is kinky. I use kinky now, but it's in its natural state and it's still beautiful. But nappy being a term that African American people have adapted, but also majority context seen as just one type of texture, and it's coarse, nappy, Brillo pad, unattractive. And so my curl, my Cantu, my own personal experience, when I first went natural with my hair, and I was letting the relaxer, also for a white woman that would be the equivalent of a perm, when I was letting it grow out of my hair, and I went to my hairstylist, who I have right now to this day. 5 years ago, I went natural. A year ago, I started locking my hair. But, and she told me part of the process is once the perm is grown out, you wash it and you find out your curl pattern. And I looked at her and I laughed. And I'm ashamed of this right now because of everything that I know now about natural hair and just how I've grown to see myself beautiful in a different light that I really did not grow up seeing. But she said a curl pattern, and I laughed because I was like, curl? My hair is nappy. Like, there's no curliness here because I grew up thinking curl was attributed to some of my friends, my white friends or whatnot. Black people don't have curly hair. We don't have curl in our hair. It's afro or it's you got a perm and it's straight. I mean, and that is just because for some reason I attributed curls to white people. Yeah, yikes. But she was very serious. And she's like, no, we do. In our natural state, our hair has a curl pattern. And I sure did find out once the relaxer was had grown out of my hair, and I washed my hair, and she, I did what they call a big chop, and I was down to a little fro. You sure enough, you could see I had a lot of curls in her hair, and there's different curl patterns. Every woman, some have a tight coil where it's just wound tight, and you can't tell. It does look more fro-like, but when wet, you can actually see that, oh yeah, there are ringlets in there, and then there's some that have a looser curl pattern. So this is more of the knowledge and the understanding of having a curl pattern. My curl. Each woman has their own curl pattern. And then when you think about the diversity of black women, some being biracial and me, myself, just being, both my parents are African American. So my curl pattern may be a little tighter than hers, so it looks a little more textured, more coarse. Whereas my nieces, who their mother, which is my sister, is black, but their father is white. Their curl pattern, their curl is have more of a looser texture, and they hang longer. So, and even they can use these products. So this message right here points to me diversity. My curl, my can too. So you can pick any of these products and match them with other natural hair care products or not, and to make it work. To see your hair, your natural hair, your curl pattern respond to it in a way that is healthy and promotes growth. I'm sorry, my son is coming in here. Sorry. Davina, you need to get Messiah. I'm so sorry. I should have locked the door. Okay, Neil.
You're perfectly.
Okay, Neil, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Okay. And so that is the main message. Yes, diversity among black women. And this diversity is beautiful. If you look at the woman, she has locks in her hair and she's holding a very statuesque pose and proud. She's holding her head up, and it just shows an element of beauty that I think majority context society might not have known was there. Question 2, or I'm sorry, we're already on question 2. These messages reveal there's another quote actually on here. My hair speaks before I do. My hair speaks before I do. She has locks, as I just said. She has locks in her hair. I have locks in my hair. You see somebody coming down with locks, you can't help but stare because it is a very unique, distinct style. So before you even know me or have anything come out of your mouth, you may have a specific perception about me. And the way they have, and I said before, she is, they have her model here. It's in a nice my hair's not looking updo, and she's looking very proud and is saying, my hair speaks before I do. You could come to a good conclusion about this woman, like, wow, she's beautiful, she's different, she's unique. That is her own style. And boldness, and that's just from the surface, looking at her. But on a deeper cultural level, we're thinking about why these sort of statements need to be said. My curl, my can too. My hair speaks before I do. asserting and creating a much needed affirmation to continue. It just continues on, not for women in general, but for Black women specifically, to say, yes, I am a brown or black skinned woman and I am very beautiful, or light skinned woman and I am very beautiful. And the way I keep my hair says a lot about me. And my hair is just not nappy all over my head, but is actually groomed and combed. And I consider the things that I put into my hair, and I want to look good, and I want to be proud of myself. So, just on a deeper level, that affirmation to the culture of the Black community, and then just the culture of Black women in general. And I would say, on another note, just to speak about the subcultures that this ad could speak to on just Black women, the subcultures of African American women, the fact that she doesn't have a relaxer in her hair and she does have locks. There is a subculture of reassigning meaning of beauty in the Black community, because and this is just from personal experience. Growing up, it was, you do the relaxer because your hair needs to be straight. You might have a grandmother that grew up, or a mother that was like, yeah, straight hair means you're put together. You look good. You're beautiful. Because what? Majority context of white females, straight hair, blue eyes, whatever. It was the package. So in order for us to fit into the society of the majority context of white women, people, to straighten our hair to look to fit into that, we had to do that to be accepted and not looked at as different. But in the Black community, there from my understanding of it, with the start of feminism, the Black Panther movement, the end of the civil rights, and this whole new movement for women alone started. And we've talked about this in class, with the voting rights for women, white, but then then there's this whole thing of Black women, and then when you have Black women asserting the feminism to break away from that ideology of, or patriarchy of men, you see Black women not wanting to relax their hair anymore, but actually wanting to wear a fro, wanting to have dreadlocks, to go against the norm and say, no, I don't need to fit into that mold to be beautiful, but I could be beautiful, strong, and confident in my natural state before I was taught that beauty was putting this chemical in your hair. And might I add, these chemicals are no joke. In my generation of coming up with having the relaxers, they've worked to try and make it less harsh on your hair or anything. But yes, very much so, putting a perm in your hair back in the day was no joke, and you were really putting some heavy, harsh chemicals in your hair. So the subculture's reassigning value to beauty as far as hair care goes is within there. And then that struggle between Black women of different shades, saying what is beautiful, what is not. Why are you wearing your hair that way? Why do you want to look like that? I can't have my hair nappy. There's some that won't let go of that conformed ideology of, I can't have my hair nappy. I can't stand it. I can't deal with that. But unwilling to accept that, but not kind to allow another Black woman to accept that as her affirmation of beauty, or her norm, or custom of what beauty is. So it speaks to a message of tradition, like I said, of tradition of African American women relaxing their hair, and that being the standard norm. And this picture speaks against that. And now I would say that and like we discussed in class before, that as more and more individuals take on, move away from one subculture to the other, or one assignment of value of these cultural components, social components, to the other, the consequence, which I discussed among Black women, lessons. And I know, living in Durham, when I moved here, I was shocked with the amount of natural hair women, black women that I saw, because where I'm from in Kentucky, everyone is just now getting the momentum of natural hair, and it's relaxing your hair is still very much normal and the idea of beauty. So it made me more comfortable going natural here in Durham and feel more comfortable and affirm my beauty because there's other women supporting me in that. And I found the social climate among African American women here, as far as one having a relaxer and one not, as we're in this together. I still love you, and I can feel the consequences of that being so far less than early on. Now, between my grandmother and I, when I went natural, she did not like it at all. She said, "What?" And no joke, she's like, "What your hair nappy like that for? Why don't you let me pull it?" And that's just an old slang term for using a what we know as a flat iron, but a hot comb back in the day. And believe you me, those hot combs on the stove are no joke. I mean, I might still have the scars to prove it. But now very much so among my generation and forward, and a few back or affirming like, hey, you got a perm, I ain't mad at you. We refer to it as a creamy crack, just so you know. You like, and some of us that were natural, like I had to go back to the creamy crack because it just wasn't working. We were like, at this point we're like, yeah, it's all good. It's not for everybody, but I'm still willing to affirm your beauty, whereas the battle was not always so then. Let's see here. So the effect, it resulted in feeling beautiful, empowered, confident of the messages conveyed here. My curl, my can do. My hair speaks before I do. Affects how a black woman would view herself, and she would view herself as more confident, beautiful, and empowered, strong in a positive way. And that is extremely important socially for our environment, or for our cultural environment, and for our society. Moving on, just in conclusion here, the message is revealed in their meaning. In what way do you think the ads like to impact society overall? I think it would continue to speak to the curiosity of white men and women as to why our hair is the way it is, but also presenting to white individuals a side of beauty that they may not have noticed or didn't see as beautiful at all. And that, to me, is what ads like these do, because now history of a long fight of accepting black as beautiful, seeing a black woman here portrayed like this, definitely, I'm not sure if white individuals will ever purchase a Essence magazine, but you can find this ad in other venues or areas online. It's in Walmart. This product actually is in Walmart, and I have this in my in my bathroom. Actually, it works really good on my kids' hair. But I think it does speak to curiosity that is piqued by white individuals. They're like, how is your hair like that? You know, and I get those questions still times, and I know there's some women and men in the black community that hate answering those questions or whatnot. And they could be not offensive, but you answer them all the time. So I think the annoyance there is the redundancy of them. But I do think that ads like these speak to that. Is like, wow, yes, black can be and is, or not can be, but is beautiful. And I never knew that. You know, I never knew there are some white individuals that and other people of other races and ethnicities that might have not ever been around an African American person, or had been shown an African American person in a positive light. And so this ad does that to me. It puts African American women in a positive light, and answers some of those questions of, wow, how is your hair this way? And yeah, your hair can be in locks and you can still look damn good. So the process of social construction that it revealed. I think the question was, help me understand social construction was, and I just now just hit on it, was the fact, the different layers that social construction can, as you worded it, sewn together, and just and it made me think about this big picture of, here we have this society, this big society, and in that society you have all these subcultures, or to me, and I'm not sure if this is right or not, but I'm pretty confident, little societies, but culturally based, and based on the norms and ideologies that they choose to take on. And then inside of that, you have these other subcultures. So, and this is just in short, and there's so many other races and ethnicities, but it got me thinking. You have all of society, and then you have white, you have black, and then you have Asian, and you have Hispanic, and then in those little societies, you have these, and those cultures, you have these norms and these ideologies in each one of them, and then in those you break apart into even more subcultures, because then you have, like I said earlier, you have African American women, light, dark, medium skin tone, saying what is beauty and what is not, and here we are split on what hair beauty, as far as hair is concerned, is it straight using the perm, or is it in its natural state when it's in a fro, or if it's in dreadlocks, as it speak. And then you have a split down to there, and then you even within that, even within the people that are natural or are wearing locks, you break that off, and then you have the people that use hair care lines that are not natural, and then you have the ones that only use natural organic products, and then there's like, well, you're not treating your hair right because you're not using the natural products, and then vice versa. On the relaxer tip, there's the women, the African American women that go to salon every week, or you get a relaxer per the African American way, 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, and you're mad at her because she uses a box perm. So you talk about her like a dog because she's using a box perm, and you can go pay $60-$70 on a relaxer, but she can't. So it just reminded me of all the layers of what social construction is, and what it means when you apply social construction to one area, because then it's very helpful once you do find the social construction of that one area to pull it back out to the big view, and to see like, wow, yeah, it's this social implication is so vast, and it's so big, and it's so easy to address, and hit everything. So for me, if it's difficult for me to stay focused, because I'm like, oh, I want to look into that, and I was like, I want to look into that, and but at the same time, it does help you organize, because that way it gives you a framework for focusing on that area, and the research and the statistics, and the symbolic interaction is view on that specific issue, and then on a cultural level, and then on a mesic level, and then on an institutional level. So that's what it's done for me. This project has helped me to sew it all together, and to practice applying it. So again, this ad was very much needed, because the continued affirmation of the African American woman, because still today there is a struggle with assigning beauty and what is beauty. And if you see our social climate now, when black men are being shot because they look like a bad dude, yeah, we're going to have ads that we're going to use African American models, and their hair texture is going to be different, but they're still going to have affirming slogans such as this, just because so many instances in our society as a whole, we are not viewed as beautiful. Thank you very much for this assignment, and see you in class.